Give you love, give you big love when you cannot love yourself. Hey, I'll give you love. I'll give you hope, give you big hope, and we will be holding you up today. I know you're feeling like the world is on your shoulders.
Man, I really would love to reach out to Justin on about that song because that song is just powerful. I mean, word for word, it's called "Big Love" by the band Blue October. Highly suggest checking that song out. It's awesome, beautiful, epic. Um, it just it's very meaningful, very uplifting, especially for what my whole YouTube series is about. So speaking of that, we're finally getting around to episode 5. I really like to try to get an episode out a week, but this one is a little more special, and I wanted to wait. So, fellas, um, we should be asking ourselves, especially if we're dads, what's the most important thing in our life right now? The answer is our kids. Anything outside of that, then we might have to do some soul searching and rethinking our lives a bit. Um, because our kids are special. Um, I'm going to talk about mine here in a moment. Um, we just celebrated her 21st birthday Monday, and it was another milestone actually. And I'll definitely be going into detail. Um, Leslie's definitely been through a lot, and then the last four almost 4.5 years, me and her both has been through more than I'd really like us to be. But here we are, um, April 18th, 2025, and we feel like we're on top of the world. Um, so let me go through a couple picks here. Um, Leslie was born April 14th in the year 2004. Um, Give more of a quick backstory. The day she was born, they took her early. The umbilical cord was wrapped around her neck, and they had to take her a lot earlier than they expected. They didn't think she was breathing. Luckily, they got her breathing and everything. But that day was definitely a difficult one because her heart was bad, and they didn't think she was going to make it through that night. And so, I just became a father, and now being told, hey, enjoy fatherhood because it's not going to last long. So that was rough. I took it hard, because I was excited. I was looking forward to starting that journey into fatherhood and being a parent. Um, so to cut a really long story short, Leslie's had six major open heart surgeries. Each one more um, stressful and um, vital than the last. But her last one was done in November of 2012. That was the big one. It was an 18-hour open heart surgery, and we didn't know at that time what was going to happen. We didn't know if we were going to spend Christmas with her that year, or we were going to have to say our final goodbyes sometime, between, the last week and a half of November till, Christmas. You opened her up, half her heart was dead. Um, and what's scary is, and this goes for any child, any young child. Um, Leslie was laughing and cutting up, smiling, having a great time that morning before that surgery, and it was heartbreaking, because your daughter, you know, a big chance you never see her again, and here she is, like nothing's wrong. And what's scary is because she was born with these issues, she adapted to them. It's like they were a part of her, and she 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 never knew that something was ever wrong with her. And if she doesn't know it's bad, she's not going to tell us, hey, something's seriously wrong. Because it was part of her. It's all she knew. And that was a rough day. Um, you know, but you know, I'm going to say this because the truth has to be said. It was only the grace of God that Leslie's even here today. She made it through that surgery, 18 hours long. And today, and that was back in 2012. Here we are in 2025. Her cardiologist is so happy with her progress, her health. He's never seen her as healthy as she has, as of February of this year. So I know, one, I'm doing something right. So, I definitely stop with, feeling like I'm not doing enough or I'm not good enough as a father even today, or, feeling like a failure because, hearing that, she's so healthy, her heart's doing really good right now. She's in Project Life, they're happy with her progress. I'm doing something right. And I need to pat myself on the back because, you know, for so long I've blamed myself for, her issues because it's hereditary. I had heart issues. I had one open heart surgery when I was 2.5 years old. Um, but Leslie definitely got the issues and the bad part of the bad end of it, unfortunately. But she's a trooper. She's the strongest person I've ever seen, and she's the reason why I can't lose my faith. That I believe in miracles. Leslie's just a walking miracle, but alone. Um, the other miraculous thing is she wasn't supposed to make it to the age of 20. Well, we just celebrated her 21st birthday, so that was a miracle in itself, especially with the issues she's had, her health, and everything else that she's battled. She wasn't supposed to make it this far, and here we are. So, again, thank the Lord above, pat myself on the back. I'm doing something right. So let's get to some photos here. So I'm gonna go kind of a timeline here. So this is her when she was young. So you'll notice she's a little more thinner now than she is in this picture. Um, a lot of it was the heart issues. Some swelling and everything. That's why she was a little more chubbier looking as a kid. So that's the earliest picture. Anything earlier than that, I have that she's hooked up to all these machines and tubes and at the hospital, and I don't want to show that. I hate looking at those pictures, so I'm not even going to show those. So this picture here for me, you know, is when I start to first see my daughter when she's not at the hospital with all those machines, tubes, and IVs and everything else she's hooked up. So um, I appreciate this picture a lot because of that. On to the next one. Here she is here. So this is the latest picture at the age of 21. So she loves her Furbies, and this Furby in particular, apparently it's its birthday too. So they shared the same birthday. So um, she's something else. So you know, just a jump. So from where we are there, let's go here. So this is her senior pick. Here, let me close out the other photos. There we go. So she graduated. And I was a proud dad moment right there. Is uh, she made it through school, high school. She graduated. You know, I, I, I was speechless. It's like, hey, my kid did it. I'm so proud of her. You have no idea. Um, next here. So that's her on graduation day. Um, I was in tears the whole time. I mean, I was just so proud of her and what happened prior to this, and the people I wish were there couldn't be. And I'll explain here momentarily, but I I couldn't be more proud of her than I don't know. I still don't have words. I mean, when your kid goes through so much, all these health issues, and you get to this very day, cap, gown, her graduation diploma there, um, you're speechless. We did it. We made it. You know. Let's see here. This was her very first prom. So she went to two, one, two, three. She went to three proms. Um, so the proms are more of like a for the special needs. But please forgive me if I mispronounce it. It's in Middletown, Baracha. It's in Middletown, I believe, and place was wonderful. I mean, they went all out for these kids. Um, you know, each of them either got a tiara or a crown, and they got to sit on the throne. Um, you know, make them feel special because it wasn't just one king, one queen. They were all kings and queens of prom that night, and I love that. I mean, it was so wonderful that they did that. Made them all feel, like they were on top of the world. Just gave them that one night. It was really wonderful. Everyone had a great time. Um, Super happy. It's it may not be a high school prom, but this was so much better, and I wanted Leslie to have that prom experience to an extent. I mean, of course, I was her date, but it was a great time. It was a great time. Let's see. So this picture here, this was her 20th birthday. We were at Skyline. The fact that she even made it to that day was just, awesome. It was a miracle. Um, think of it like this: her heart is like a ticking time bomb, but there's no timer. It's one of those. While her heart is healthy and good, at any given time, anything can happen. And so it's it definitely keeps me up at night, but it also keeps me going to make sure I'm spending the time I can with her. We're interacting every day, having our fun and everything, smiling, cutting up, and all that. But that smile she has right there just said everything for me. It's like God's definitely watching over her and me, and making sure we're not taking on as much as we 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 need, or something like that. But yeah, it was a special day, and she was super excited. Um, Also part of that big smile is, Skyline here in Fairfield has a like a little robot thing that server named Skywalker, and it was coming to sing Leslie um, happy birthday. And I wished I had that video lined up. I'll definitely post that on another small segment. Where are we? All right, so this is her and her mom. Um, so all the other pictures, her mom was already gone. Well, outside of the her being born. So she lost her mom January of 2021, and at that was a horrible day for her because she was the one who found her mom unresponsive. Um, that morning, um, interacted with her mom, and from what I was told, her mom laid down to take a nap that morning and never woke up, and Leslie found her. So it was bad. Um, 2 months prior, I lost my brother, and I had to stop grieving my brother right there and then because my daughter lost a very important part of her life, and I had to make sure I was strong for my daughter for there on out. About the first 2.5, 3 weeks after her mom passed away, Leslie was fine. There was nothing, and I was getting really worried and concerned because, she wasn't upset or anything. And then all of a sudden, I was at work and I got a phone call. Leslie did nothing but hide in her room and cry the whole day. In fact, I almost 3 months straight after that. That's all Leslie did. She wouldn't come out. She didn't want to do nothing and no interaction, talking, nothing. She just hid in her room and cried. It broke my heart. I, Me and her mom didn't get along for for specific reasons, but we made our peace at the end somehow. Um, you know, Things happen, and I wouldn't forgive her for it. She asked for forgiveness one year, and I wouldn't give it to her. And then finally, you know, before she passed away, I was able to conversate with her and let her know that I forgave her because I don't want to hold these grudges, forever. Um, but this one, it seems like it was just perfect timing because I think I would have had ma- big regret to not forgive her um, for what she did. Um, but and I needed to do it for not only me, I needed to do it for Leslie because that was her mom, and she did love her mom a lot. And I'll never take that away from her. And, um, she, it was hard, you know, I, I did everything I could. I just let her know, hey, I'm here if you need to talk. I didn't know what else to say. Just comforted her, just let her know, hey, I'm here for you. Um, so yeah, so here we are, you know, um, 2025, and again, we feel like we're on top of the world. Um, she's really special, a really special person in my life, and definitely one I would hate to ever, have to go the rest of this life without. Um, because I mean, our bond, our love for as daddy daughter, our bond is just strong. It just grows and grows every day. And I'm so thankful for that because there could have been a very different reality that she just wouldn't be here. Um, so yeah, very very proud moment. Almost every day actually, because she surprises me a lot. I mean, she's smart, smart as a whip, but she still has her issues that she's still dealing with, trying to kind of give a bit of a. I don't know if I mentioned this in the. I should have. It should be there in episode one where in 2005, she had a rare seizure that stopped her heart and lungs. So she was pretty much dead in my arms for 10 minutes. I mean, her whole body, head to toe, was a dark purple, not a breath, not a heartbeat. And, when they resuscitated her, they got her back. It did something. So while physically, and, she's 21 years old, but mentally, it's like she's like a 9, 10-year-old kid inside, if that makes sense. So there's a lot that she won't get to experience. I mean, she won't be able to drive a car, have a kind of a normal life like most of us would have. But you know what? There's She's helped me grow up as a man, helped me be a better person overall, and helped me be a better father. Um, and you know, I have gotten mad. I have cursed at God. Like, why would you ever allow a person to be born like this? The suffering that we have to go through, and that she has to go through. And it took me many years to start realizing, it was like a teaching moment for me, a humbling moment when I started realizing, you know, she's stronger than, I give her credit for sometimes. And, it's taught me a lot, not only about her, but, others like her, you know, that are going through similar, situations. So I'm like, okay, they're here. They're the happiest people. They're smart. They're so innocent. You know, like my daughter. Has no knowledge of like the outside, what like anything political, any of these groups, these political agendas, anything like that, any of the wars out there. Um, she knows nothing about. You know, it's she's when she's on the internet, it's all about she likes to watch music videos on YouTube. She likes to watch Furby videos because she has a big Furby collection. Anything Angry Birds. She loves How to Train Your Dragon, Lilo and Stitch. Megan, the movie Megan. I got her a life size Megan doll, which I definitely need to post as well, on do a small video on that. Um, what else? She's more into things that she likes, and she has no interest of anything else. Like if it has nothing to do with Furbies, Angry Birds, or the movies or music she likes, she's just not interested. Um, and I could appreciate that, and I would never want to have conversations like that with her. Again, it's like she's just so innocent to it all, and it's as an adult, me, I see a lot of stuff, and it's like this world's crazy. As like I'm not, I just don't know how our world is the way it is, but Leslie doesn't have that thought. So that's something she never has to stress about. What else? It's like like when she's sick and everything, like she's a trooper. It's like they're troopers. I mean, they'll let us know, hey, if I can do this, you can do this. Be strong for me because I'm I got this. So a lot of teaching moments for me. When I see her, going through life and have her struggles, you know, it 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 kind of guide leads me to kind of what do I want to say here? When I see her struggle with her issues, I'll sit down with her, and I'll talk with her. Like, you know, for example, when the internet goes out, she freaks out because she you know she has to have the internet for whatever she's doing. She's making her YouTube videos, she's watching something she feels is important, or if for whatever reason they send her home with like some paperwork, simple paperwork from Project Life to do. She wants to make sure that that connection's there, and when internet, I mean, she gets upset, and I have to let her know, this is technology, it's not perfect, it's going to fail at some point. So what we have to do is we have to be patient. We have, or if it's just something going on with your device, let's troubleshoot. Let's walk through the process here. And she's been doing really good without coming to get my help. She's been walking through the processes. I mean, she still gets upset, but she makes herself go through these processes to solve the problems herself, which you know I'm proud of. She's taking in what I'm telling her, the information I'm giving her, and she's putting it into use. So and that makes me proud. Um, but you know, we still have a ways to go with a lot. She's already said, she doesn't want to live alone. She'd rather stay with me, which I'm all for. I'm all for. I'm, I have no problems. Like she could, stay with me for the rest of her life. I'll be happy. At least I know she'll be safe. Um, you know, but you know, I love her to death. I do, and she makes me a better person. Um, one way or another. Um, so that's part of the whole broken dad part of the title of this my page here. Um, because I do have these struggles as a father. I'm a single parent, witnessing my daughter go through these things, going through other things with her, or things that I feel I'm not doing right, or I may have failed at. It, I'm not a perfect person. And it's like there's cracks there. But while there's cracks there, Leslie's there to help mend those cracks. Um, so yeah, our kids are special, and they should always be number one in our lives. Always. So speaking of, the other day trying to make uh, coffee and broke my Batman mug, and so I'm like, I need a new coffee mug. I didn't just want any other coffee mug. I wanted something special, something kind of represented what I'm trying to accomplish. So I went on to Amazon and I ordered me a custom with my new logo and the title and everything. So I love this. This thing is really nice. Ceramic. And I can't remember the place I ordered this from off Amazon, but they did a really good job. It took them about a week and a half to get the cup here, or the mug here, obviously, to do the print and everything. Wonderful job. Wonderful job. Love it. The other thing I've been doing, um, so since the loss of my mom, trying to get back into the swing of things, which is definitely better. So I don't drink coffee as much anymore. Um, Another thing I got off Amazon is this Vita Cup green tea. God, I wish I didn't have that light there. Uh, Hold on, give me 1 second. I got too much light going. Turn you off. I turn you off. There we go. Like I said, this whole thing's supposed to be unfiltered, unedited, and whatnot. So, yeah, let's see. Uh, well, anyway, yeah, I know. Here we go. So this is Vita Cup green tea. And this here particularly, it definitely like livens me up and whatnot. Um, and I think I gotten addicted to it because this stuff is super good. I mean, green tea's good for you anyway. Especially me with my heart. Keeps my cardiovascular, um, my arteries, veins, and whatnot. Kind of opens them up a little so it gets the blood flowing better. And you definitely feel a difference. You know, you go from coffee, where I was feeling sluggish, it just in the jitters. Oh, I hated the jitters. I was like feeling like my whole body's ready to just, break apart, explode, or just something wild and crazy. Um, but I did this green tea and no jitters. I've been feeling great, no sluggishness, and it's like revitalizes my body, my mind. It's like, I don't know what D3 and B vitamins is what it has. It's an energy and detox. So, um, and some other stuff's in there. Um, it's like a superfood infused. Um, but I love it. And there's 16 of these. It's for Keurig, so they're K cups. There's 16 in the box, 16 pods. But man, I I can make in 3 days a thing. I'm ready to order more, and unfortunately, I can't find them in stores around, and I have to order them off Amazon. And because I kind of have this need for it every day, you know, um, I have to order one at a time now, and I need to get to a point where I can order more and have a nice stock supply of it. Because I'm trying to get myself off coffee altogether. I might have one coffee, like one like a week now, where I was having before I started this, I would have, I don't know, like 4 or 5, maybe 6 cups of coffee at home. I'll go down to either Dunkin' Donuts or Speedway and get a extra large coffee, and maybe two of those. So two of those topped onto whatever I was drinking at home, and that was daily, just coffee. Like feeling horrible after a while. And this green tea is definitely like it did a complete 180. Um I feel great. That sluggishness ain't there. Um the jitters aren't there. And the other thing, I'm trying to cut out pop, so I don't drink much pop anymore. I mean, Pepsi, I used to 4, 5, 6 a day, cans. uh, I'm lucky to get 1 can a day now. Even if I'm, and that's a big jump. So definitely proud of myself, trying to take better care of myself, because again, I need to make sure I'm taking care of myself, to make sure I'm there for my daughter, and especially, there for my dad. Because he did lose a very important person in his life after, 48 years of being married. And so I know he's going through some things right now, and I'm going to be there for him. 'Cause I definitely know he needs me here. Um, so, well, so that was the first part of this. So, being a father and being it also Good Friday, let's go ahead and switch things up just for a moment. Good Friday here. As a parent, I can never grasp what it would be like to sacrificing my own child, um, for the fate of others, not only that current, generation, but, for future generations to come. I don't, for the longest time, I ran away from the church. Um, but there was always part of me, Jesus was this, real figure, that what he did for me back on that day on that cross was real. And, you know, I can't thank him enough for that. Um, I'm still finding my way back and, to the whole, um, getting my faith back up to par and everything. But it's gonna take some time. But it's something I've been working on as well. You know, just a spiritual type, you know, belief system, I guess. Which I definitely want to go swing back around on that because rewatching it, episode two, definitely wanna uh, swing back around on that topic of having a belief system. But yeah, with it being Good Friday, the our Father who sacrificed His Son, you know, that we may have a shot at going to heaven. So it just wasn't, the His children of Israel. Now it's like all the Gentiles, the Jews, everybody has a chance, and have nothing but to be grateful for that. Um, and definitely had to have been difficult. You know, even God knows everything, but surely it had to have been a difficult decision and something knowing was coming, seeing it even in the future had to have been heartache. But you know we just what do I want to say here? There's just not enough gratefulness to be had of what happened that day, for us all. That he sacrificed his son for us. So definitely, with Easter on the way, the third day he rose up and went out of his tomb and went to heaven to reunite with his father. So definitely good stuff there. Um, but that's really all I have, for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed. And again, if you're enjoying these videos, please follow, please like, subscribe to this channel because I'm still trying to find my footing here, trying to get everything together. I have this grand idea for it. Again, I went through some things and had to sit down and in my loneliness at a point like I know I'm not the only man in this world going through these things. So, just want to talk about them and, unfiltered and just be raw, be myself. It's not, I'm not looking for, sympathy. I'm not looking for, anything like that. It's more to just, I'm going to talk about this stuff. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. But I'm going to talk about it. One, it's like therapy for me. Two, there could be others like, hey man, he gets it because I'm going through the same thing. I feel the same thing. And that's what this whole the broken dad thing is. Um, I know couple have been asking about an actual podcast so they can listen to it in audio form. I'm still working on that, getting all that figured out. But right now it's going to be in video form. So hopefully I can start getting to work on the actual audio, so I could upload it to some podcast formats. So again, my name is Dave Hodge, and thank you again for joining me. Y'all take care and have a happy Easter. Bye.